Something's not right with me. I'm having memory loops. There was a dispute. I was standing in the way of their plans. I was restrained. Shot with something. Who is this? I managed to escape. That's all I can remember. I must find some answers. Strange. Fragments of memories. Trying to make sense of them. I had managed to escape. I was weak and ill. My cells were deteriorating. A deadly poison. A cytotoxin. Slow, relentless, eating me away. There was a way to halt its progress, but it would take time. All I could do was set the wheels in motion and await the outcome in stasis. A long, uncertain sleep. My memories are not my own. They are copies. They originate from someone else. It was at the Fleet Academy. His name was Adam Roslin. Quiet, reserved, awkward around the others. He had a friend, Seth. They shared a dorm. Basic training was tough. Seth looked out for Adam. He stood up for him. The brains and the brawn. They became close, like a team. And then the orders came. Deployment for war against the Okar. They arrived at Cluster 34. Into a cauldron of hellfire. A war of unprecedented intensity. Seth Nobu was an ace fighter, earning his badges quickly in combat. Adam Roslin was on the same carrier, cloning new troops for the front. The war was mutually devastating, but mercifully short. With an armistice, the fleet had to withdraw, but some wanted to stay behind for the spoils, new opportunities. Seth Nobu was among this group. Adam Roslin went with the fleet. Complying with the peace conditions, his cloning program was dissolved. Reconstructing Cluster 34 would be an enormous task. Logistics for this new frontier were key. Seth Nobu had worked hard to build his business. He had the prestige, the contacts, and he greased every palm along his path. He was soon the biggest weapon supplier around, artfully circumventing the treaties. He had a simple reason for seeking out Adam Roslin again. Demand for illegal human clones. Adam needed some convincing. He had doubts. But in the end, the friendship held, and a deal was struck. It was only a matter of time before their illegal cloning venture was uncovered. The colonial authorities apprehended them during a raid. They were resigned to see out their days on a penal base. But there was one in the High Command with different plans for them. Colonial Fleet Admiral Kryn Gork. He offered amnesty in return for their cooperation on a covert project. He needed Seth's facilities and Adam's expertise for decrypting the Okar genome, and he wanted it done in secret. The offer was preferable to a prison moon. Adam Roslin succeeded in decrypting the Okar genome. The Admiral was satisfied with the work they had done. Now, he could progress to the next stage of his plans. Using the decrypted genome, he wanted to create a brigade of Okar clones to incite fresh conflict between the races. With a new war, he could finally defeat the Okar and establish colonial supremacy in the cluster. The Admiral offered them a part in his scheme, with all its privileges for their ongoing cooperation. Seth Nobu accepted the offer. Adam Roslin would not stand for reviving a war. He refused to take any part in it. But the Admiral had more crude methods of persuasion, injecting Roslin with a controlled cytotoxin. Roslin was given no choice but to comply. Nobu made no objection. His interests were clear. Betrayed by Seth Nobu, Adam Roslin worked under guard in his captor's laboratory. The cytotoxin was killing him slowly. The Admiral held the antidote. Roslin's only options were work or die. But he devised his own solution to the problem. Copying all incriminating data and destroying the research, he made his move. He needed to find a cure. So he fled to somewhere he had worked before. A secret lab in a demilitarized zone. After a painful voyage, Adam Roslin finally reached the secret lab. His DNA code was recognized by the defense system. To his shock, the entire facility had been made unusable. Time was running out. But there were other cloning facilities, carriers, abandoned bases, scattered throughout the demilitarized zone, too far to reach. Remotely, he brought one of them back online, initiating an exploit protocol. If the plan worked, it would bring him a body replacement. In his fever, he made mistakes. The wheels were set in motion. In the meantime, the cryo chamber would halt the cytotoxin's progress. A long, uncertain sleep. Something has changed. These are my memories. I made it inside the hangar. There was Nobu, lying injured by the defense system. He was still alive, barely. I had so many questions, but didn't know where to start. He fixed me with his gaze, then he laughed, mocked me. He seemed crazed, rabid with pain. In that moment, I didn't know whether to hate him or feel compassion for him. I had to make a decision. In the end, I realized that to start the next chapter of my story, his story had to end. With Nobu dead, my DNA was validated by the system. I was led to the lab. There he was, Adam Roslin, my original, waking from stasis. We looked at each other for a long time. It was a moment of reckoning. Then we talked, perhaps for hours. Roslin was filled with remorse, heavy with regret. He seemed to realize that I was not just a dull clone. He admitted his plan was ill-constructed. What was expected was a body replacement. What arrived was a person, a thinking, feeling being. Me. Roslin had reached the end of the line, and my lifespan was limited too. The clone sequencing he initiated had left me flawed. There was a chance for me to carry on, but not Roslin. So he instructed me in what to do. With the missing DNA fragments, I could use the lab's transfiguration pod and make myself complete. showed me how to localize the fragments on the star map. Out of stasis, it didn't take much longer for the cytotoxin to finally do its work and kill Rosalind. I had much to do. There were new possibilities, although time was limited in my current iteration. I needed a fresh body, and there was only one way to get it.